Today I'll be taking you through how to do the organization setup on Payroll Master. If you follow me on the screen, on the left hand side, you can see you scroll down, you can see the organization tab. So we have the departments, positions, grades, pay scales, holidays, and things like that you'd need for your organization. Let's start with setting up departments. So you'll click on all departments and you'll add a department directly on there. You can put a code for the department. Let's start with HR, the name, human resource, a brief description, If there was a parent department, then you would put the root department here. But since there's no department we've added, then we can create this department as one. So once we've created this department, you can see the code, the name, the description you've given, and whether it's a parent department or not. So when I go back to all departments, I can see I've added this. So let's create a new department, but have it as a sub-department for human resources. So I can say culture and relations. I would put the parent department to be human resource, and I'll change the sort order if needed for the sub-department. But let's create this department. And as you can see, I've created this department. The parent department is human resource. And I can easily edit the department directly by clicking the edit button, changing the names, and then saving the changes. I can also deactivate the department by clicking on the status side and making it inactive. All right, now I can see my two departments. If I click on the org chart, I can see human resources at the top and culture and relations are at the bottom. Now let me go back to my list. Now, if we move over to the left-hand side, you can see the next part of organization setup is on the positions. So when I click on all positions, I can see I have none here. So let's add a position. So I can click add a position directly here. And let's stick to the HR theme. So code is HR, MGN, HR manager. You can add a brief description if needed. What department they'll be in, human resource. If this department has a grade, you'll add and put the grade and the reporting to manager directly. Is it a managerial position? Yes. The approved headcount, maybe you'll have 3 or 4 or even 5 HR managers within the department. You can easily change the number here. The minimum requirements needed for this role, you can add it here. You can add the education needed, maybe it's a bachelor's degree or things like that. This data is very important for when you're making reports on payroll for each department. So the more data you add for your organization, the better the reports. Adding skill sets, any certifications needed for this role, and things like that. Now, let's create this position. Now you can see I've created the HR manager position, the department that it's under, and any other grade. Similarly to as before, if I need to edit, I can come and click the edit button at the top and make any necessary changes I need to make. Now, let's move on to the grades section. So I can see all the grades. Since I have no grades found here, I can add a new grade. Give it a code. Say GRD 001, entry level, Or let's stick to the managerial theme. Briefly describe the grade. I can give the minimum and maximum salary range. So let's say 120, maximum 60. If there's any benefits that this grade or allowances that this grade can be put, I'll just add the benefits and allowances here. For the allowances, maybe it's a transport allowance that they get and the amount and things like that. So let's say they get a mobile device allowance. I would say the amount is 1,000. Right? Once I've filled out the grade for this specific managerial level, then I can create the grade. So you can see it's a manager level grade. The pay scales you can see are here, minimum and maximum, the benefits that they get, and the status. Similarly, again, if I need to edit, I can edit the information directly here and then save the changes. All right, perfect. So let's move on to the pay scales. So I can add a pay scale directly on the system, and it's tied to the grade. So let's put PS RD on. Level pay. I would select the grade that I just created, currency, and the base amount for this pay scale. Say 130. I would put the effective from date and the effective end date. If you don't need to put the effective end date, it's an option. But if you want to keep track of the different pay scales, then I would advise you put the effective to date. For the pay steps, you can have different steps for increment and define the progression of this pay scale increasingly. If I don't have the steps for this pay scale, I can remove them and just create the pay scale. Now, we've gone through the organization setup directly on the system. That's how easy it is to set up your organization directly on Payroll Master. For any other information, just visit payrollmaster.africa.